All right, last night at about 1900 hours, we began to receive calls, 911 calls in the southern part of Smith County. Those included tree lines down, we had power lines down, we had trees into houses. We ran quite a few calls in a short period of time, and with quite a few reports that we at least had significant wind damage and or rotation, tornadic rotation. There was also reports of a pre-storm that occurred on the other side of the lake. And so we began to do search and recovery missions, looking for anybody that would be trapped in their houses, mostly hampered by the volume of trees that were down on the roadway. So we lost the sunlight very quickly last night in the dark hours, and really hampered by power lines that were very hazardous to all the crews that were out. We had a lot of bystanders and citizens that were trying to clear roadways. We worked deep into the night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and came back early this morning to continue the operation to mostly do damage assessment today. That damage assessment has continued through the afternoon, and we've been able to search all of the properties and look through all of the southern part of the county affected by the storm. No loss of life, no significant injuries, and no major home damages. I say that in terms of structures that are totally destroyed or anything like that. We had some outbuildings that were destroyed, but nothing that has displaced people long term from the damages to their homes. So that's the great news. We continue at this moment to be ready to respond. Power companies are working to restore power within the region. We had about 3,500 customers that, for the power company to report, were out of power. We continue to respond and be ready for anything in this area. We continue to watch the weather going into the weekend. We're into a Memorial Day weekend and have significant weather on the forecast once again tonight going into the weekend. The marinas have significant damage to them. Boats that are probably planned for the weekend are tied up in marinas that have significant damage, power loss, things of that nature. If anybody goes back on the water, we highly advise you to be very cautious, both from an electrocution hazard issue and debris in the water. So definitely take extreme caution with power lines at any of this area that has been disrupted. Do not treat any of the power lines as if they might not be live, because they're actively restoring power as we speak. That's really where we're at this point. Continue to monitor the weather going into the weekend, and be ready to respond to the needs of our community. We're certainly appreciative of all the collaboration between our county, or Smith County offices of emergency management, our county judge, and I'll turn the time over to Brandy Moore from the Office of Emergency Management.
Thank you, Chief. Currently members of Emergency Service District 2, Smith County Fire Marshal's Office, Smith County GIS, Smith County CERT, Smith County Co-Ed, and Crisis Response Ministries are activated to serve the affected citizens of Smith County. There's currently a shelter open in partnership with the American Red Cross being managed by Smith County CERT, located at Bullard Southern Baptist Church. I would like to personally thank the churches in Bullard for stepping up and opening their doors for sheltering operations, and all of the volunteers that have come forward to help their fellow citizens. I would also like to thank Brookshire's for providing additional resources to those in need and our first responders. From the companies to the nonprofit organizations to the volunteers offering their services, Smith County is continuing to be a whole community. I would also like to thank the University of Texas for aiding in our efforts by providing a flyover of the affected area. We have partnered with the City of Bullard and will be opening a disaster recovery center on Monday, May 27th, located at Bullard City Hall. This service will be available from 10 to 2. Services will include assistance programs from the Red Cross and various assistance programs through other nonprofit organizations such as the United Way of Smith County. We are asking citizens affected by the storm to visit the Smith County Facebook page and complete the TDM damage assessment information. This allows us to track damage and identify needs.
All right. As Smith County Judge, I'm always concerned when any part of the county is struck by a storm like this. This just happens to be the area in which I live. And so I had neighbors that I was concerned about. Thrilled to see that we didn't have any major issues with health or any deaths and any real major problems with homes. I know we have some damage in the neighborhoods. We're concerned about that. They've already mentioned about TDM, how you get online on the Facebook page, Smith County Facebook page. You can register your problems there. I just want to let everybody know what our Road and Bridge Department actually did in Smith County. They actually had over 20 roads that were blocked by downed trees. They got out and cut away those trees. At least one lane was open, and they'll get back to that, but we wanted to make sure traffic could get through for safety's sake. I also want to thank ESD2 and the collaboration between ESD, our Fire Marshal's office in Smith County, and also our emergency management team. Appreciate all the work that they've done getting together. One of the things also that I want to mention is if you have debris, if you live on a county road and you have debris, you can push that debris out to the right-of-way. We cannot, our road and bridge crews cannot come on private property to pick that up. But if you push it to the right-of-way, we can pick that up. I want to tell you that you must be patient with this. We just have so many crews, and it may take us several days to get around. But hang in there, be patient, and we will remove that debris for you. And thank you very much.
You guys take questions?
Sure.
Do you have an estimate of how many people are displaced at this moment?
I think because of power outages, it's hard to understand at the moment whether they're temporarily displaced because of lack of power or they're displaced because maybe the service loop to their house is damaged and or the roof's damaged and will require some repair for them to move back in or come back into the house. So we had, like I said, we had about 3,500 that were reported by Encore as loss of power.
And that's another thing I'd love to throw in there too. Thank you to the Encore crews. They got out here and got power going in a lot of the areas quickly, and they continue to work. On my way over to this press conference today, I saw crews out. They're hustling, and we certainly appreciate them.
We're preparing for another round of storms tonight, possibly. How are crews preparing for that?
Yeah, the amount of staff that we have on duty tonight, we've upstaffed a little bit, and we're monitoring and watching very closely to make sure that we're ahead of it and we're on top of it, and we're actively ready to respond to the needs of our communities.